The Beginning, an Old Testament Journey, Episode 15. This week's lesson from Come Follow Me, Old Testament 2026, focuses on each of the different periods of time of creation. Something that I really loved about reviewing this lesson was that the creation teaches us that over time, God can create something marvelous out of something unorganized. Sometimes I feel like my life is a little bit unorganized. And so I had some really beautiful thoughts about this lesson and how God can create order and something amazing out of our lives. The lesson says, God can transform us into the divine beings we were meant to be. I loved that it focused on this because over and over throughout the years, I've heard a quote that, badly paraphrased, it says that God can create more out of our lives than we can create out of our own lives. So I love that this was part of the lesson. If you let God work in your life, you will create something absolutely amazing that you never even dreamed was possible. Here are 5 different questions that came to mind as I thought about this. How is God's hand working in your life? How can I let God prevail? What can I learn from this trial or challenge or difficulty that I'm facing in my life? What lack I yet? How can God transform me through this difficulty or challenge? These are questions that I hope that you find are helpful as you study today's lesson and as you move through the Old Testament. These are all things that we can keep in mind and that we can take to the Lord in prayer and ask Him to help us identify the answers to these questions so that we can each learn and grow from the lesson this week and from having and allowing Him to work in our lives. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you in the next episode.